All right, everyone, welcome back to Mario Kart Central for the MKWC 2026. We are so excited for our second weekend of matches. This is our group stage and preliminary bracket stage. So, two different groups of matches happening at once. A lot of matches upcoming. We're so excited. This is our first match for today, Spain versus Italy. I am once again Mitch, casting today, and I am joined by Spicy. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Mitch. Doing great. You mentioned it before, but we got 5 matches in a row. It's just an absolute marathon of just great Mario Kart. I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, for sure. So, to kind of talk about what you are going to see today, like I said, our very first match is Spain versus Italy. Then we are going to jump over to France versus Spain. So, two matches in a row in Group A. In the preliminary bracket stage. Then we will be jumping to the group stage, and our next cast will be from Group 4, Chile versus Venezuela. Then immediately after, jumping over to Group 1 with Brazil versus Peru, and then ending off our day back in Group 4 with Asia versus Venezuela. So 5 matches all in a row here, and we are so excited to bring them to you today with our cast. So, really quickly, as the room is already pretty full, we can take a look at our lineups here. So, for Spain, we have Cesar, Akadex, Danny Pro, Sanvi, and Ivanchu. And then we do have an error on our graphic. Instead of Clacy, it is going to be Super, I believe.
Correct.
So, yeah, and I mean, Spain's debut in the World Cup this year, um, opening up against Italy. Cesar, the captain of the team, been a very strong leading presence for this team. Uh, AKX, a very strong time trialer, I believe, peaking top 25 on the players page. Danny Pro, a long time veteran. I believe he's been around since 2017 or 18, and a lot of new players as well filling in the roster. Newer players, I should say. And then really quickly for Italy, as the room is already starting here, getting off to a bit of a late start, we've got Nico, Dugo, Domenico, Ferro, Rapolo, and Multi. And our POVs today, by the way, are Cesar for Spain and Rapolo for Italy. And yeah, really excited to see Italy. They did just come off a match against France. We didn't have the chance to cast it, but it was a loss by, I believe, 68,
58.
something like. So, um, honestly, they kept it pretty competitive, especially in the second half, bringing it back a bit. But we are already heading into our first track here. This is Sky High Sunday. Spain is the host of the room. We've got Caesar, who was the host starting in first here. And like we talked a lot about last week, looking for those triple shrooms on the first set.
Yeah, especially after this update. Like we saw before the update, but now after this update, this is such a strong track for running even more. Now, only one shroom here from Caesar, who is going to still maintain this lead. Just a matter of seeing, are we going to see the rest of Spain follow on up, especially with how close this pack is right now as Italy tries to make a move.
Yeah, and so these are not quite the triple shrooms he was looking for, but a shroom, so not too bad at all. And in first team, I see a lot of mixed spots. I see a big patch of 2 or 3 of Italy in those mid spots. As we switch over to Rapolo here, he has shrooms in the mid pack here. We do see a member of Spain getting hit out, so a decent amount of mid spots for Italy right now. If they can pull shrooms, then they are in a good spot to contest Caesar in first, but it looks like he's breaking away a little bit. And Rapolo with a nice red shell, going to get all the way up into second now. And he's going to need some red shells, or Italy's going to need a blue shell to take out Caesar here.
Room triple green isn't going to cut it here. I know if you're Italy, you really want to make a good impression on this first race. They had a disastrous first race against France in the last hour in their first matchup, but they've been able to keep it close as a result of that. So a matter of seeing what else are they going to do. They have a couple people up here. They are in 2-3. The Kamek did come out, but now Caesar's just running away so far. You're starting to see a lot of the upper mid pack also leaning in favor of Spain in the blue, as Italy, at least in maybe a 2-3 situation, trying to see if they got anything else. But right now, it looks like it's just Rapolo going up against the rest of Spain in this top group.
Yeah, and as we're entering lap, the end of the race here, Rapolo with some decent items, but not going to be able to take out Caesar here. He is just gone and won, and we are seeing a lot of blue. Actually, a couple of Spain looking like they fell off on the last turn, potentially. I'm not quite sure, but still a 1-3 for Spain. But other than that, a pretty mixed pack, but bottom two, it looks like, for Spain. So Italy having a nice salvage there, despite Caesar in his best efforts in the front, holding it down for Spain. This is a winning race for Italy with all of those mid spots.
Yeah, honestly, a great start here from Italy. We knew that Caesar was basically just going to be gone the entire time, especially once we got to lap two. Italy doing a great job, just securing basically everything else. A 2-4-5-6 sets them up in a great position here. And we talked about it before we went into this match, but Italy just is coming off a really close match relatively against France, so they have a lot of momentum on their side. Italy winning this would still be considered an upset, but a good start like this bodes well for them right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have to see what track Italy opts for with those mid spots. Spain opting for that Bowser's Castle. Again, a track that hugely benefits first, especially with those triple shrooms on first set. Starview Peak coming in. I actually like that pick from Italy here, as there is a decent amount of top spots for them, even if they don't have first, but it's a really great drafter on that first straightaway and can get them into the front. But it is going to be Bowser's Castle coming out here, and we'll have to see what Caesar plans to do in first, if he is going to go up for a box to guarantee potential triple shrooms, or if he's going to go bottom path here. And looks like he's going to go bottom path. Will he go... Yeah, he will go for the charge jump here. Triple nanos on first set. He's actually going to go for this modified wall strat. But he's not going to get enough distance across, potentially getting onto the wall too early there. And that's going to put him into the mid-pack. And now he has a shroom, so he can still contest with the front, but not going to be in first anymore. Luckily, one of his teammates, again, a lot of Spain are on that swoop today, so we can't quite tell who exactly is in first, but a Spain member breaking away, but still a strong start for Spain in general. 1-3-4. This rang back from Caesar could be huge in the cut. Not going to land. Trying to get Domenico, but not quite going to hit. Backspam one more time. Going to miss as well. So Italy's still in it in the mid-pack right now.
Yeah, this mid-pack overall going in favor of Italy here, but watch that bomb there from Nico. Might lead for Domenico as well to maybe make a move at this point. Italy's starting to secure a few of these mid, as Caesar's just getting hit out a lot in this upper mid-pack. Spain does still have the top spot here, just another combo at this moment. Italy is doing a solid job of breaking up into these mid spots, but it's a top two at least on the mini map right now for Spain, and Spain also has the back presence at the moment as well. So going into this lap 3, very curious to see what we're going to be having, especially in terms of item play with this pack.
Yeah, as we see Rapolo goldening up right now with triple shrooms in pocket. He has caught up a decent amount with that shortcut. A lot of Italy still in this mid-pack. If a shock were to be in play, this could be a huge swing for either team. Ghost pull in pocket for Rapolo, exactly what he needs here. Blue shell coming out. A lot is going in the way of Italy on this lap 3 so far. As we do see the blue shell coming in, it's going to force that Spanish player to go around the second cut here. And it is only one Spain player up in the front at this point. He needs some defense on this last set. Or potentially an attack item, as he's going to need to hit out a lot of these Italians shrooming up in the cut. But this Rang is going to bounce and hit Rapolo off the track right over that gap. That is really unfortunate for him. He's going to get last off of that. That's just a devastating hit for them, with what could have been an insane race for Italy, but still a 2-3-4-6 for them. Imagine what that would have been without that Rang. Still a really good race.
Yeah, and almost a sense of deja vu, at least in terms of results from what we saw on Sky High. Spain once again getting first. This time it was Sanvi who was able to secure that, but Italy once again securing all those mid spots, everything behind one. If Rapolo just didn't get hit by that back Rang as well right before the glider, that could have been maybe a 2-6 at that point as well. So Italy so far still up 6 here, doing a nice job at least to maintain this lead. Spain, though, with that front running presence, still doing a really good job. Anyone's game now after the first two.
Yeah, really solid match so far in these first two races. Both teams showing a lot of potential here. Spain specifically in the front, and Italy in the mid-pack. And this is something we didn't quite have the chance to talk about at the start of the cast, but Italy, a team that thrives with that mid-pack play, and a team historically, not just on World, but in all of the previous Mario Karts,
Very true.
thriving in that mid-pack play. And so getting to see a POV of that potentially is really great to see. You know, a very interesting play style that I think very few teams have mastered as well as Italy, to be honest. It's just consistently over the years. And so now we are going into Crown City here. And we see Rapolo with this burger going for that food bag on the first straightaway. And with triple shrooms in pocket, that's a solid pull for him. He is going to be able to get into the front here. And with shrooms, it is potential for him to take over first even. We do see that Sanvi in front of him, who also shroomed up, but these shrooms in pocket are really good for him. He could just shroom into first right now if he wanted. Sanvi without an item. And unfortunately, not going to get that charge jump all the way over the top of the car. And that's going to put him a little bit behind, but still in contention right now with these shrooms.
Yeah, the second section at this point here, see those triple greens now also in play from Sanvi, I believe it is. Spain having a nice set of items right now in this like 1-3 position at the moment, fighting really for top 2. Rapolo here in 3, just with 2 shrooms still, and now just trying to see what are they going to do. Looking at the back there as well, it is contested. It is Spain right now currently in that back spot. Having to watch for those backs here as well from Rapolo, so a lot of different things happening at this point. Shock is going to come out here on the section 2. Matter of seeing who's really going to be able to make anything off of the now it's answered as glider.
Yeah, an early Shock coming in. Very uncharacteristic for this track, to be honest. And Super backing all 3 of his greens and breaking Rapolo's triple greens that he himself had. That's a really good play. Top 3 kind of broken away now. Blue Shell coming in once again for Spain, but I don't know how much that is going to do as... Again, top 3 are so breaking away right now. Rapolo going for the Nisk off the tree. He's going to miss. That's going to put him quite behind. He's pretty much out of the race at this point, unfortunately. And we do see Caesar. Our POVs are a bit unsynced, so apologies for that. Caesar up in 3rd. He could potentially go for a back on the line, but not going to get the charge jump out. He's going to run into the wall, but I don't know how much that is going to matter. Red Shell, oh, it does matter. Red Shell's coming in on the line. He's going to lose a couple spots to Italy here. That's still a top 2-5, though, for Spain.
Yes, Spain able to secure more than just top 2, more than just
top
first
2,
time.
4, 5, excuse me.
Yeah, great stuff from them here. And now Italy now with a lot of mid spots here, but you have to just really look at that big outpour, at least at the moment there. Plus 12, I believe that was for Spain. So they are now in the lead here, now up 6 after being from down 6. So great results here. You knew Spain was trying to be doing this, but Italy's mid pack also just throughout that entire time able to steal spots at the end, really prevented that from being a even crazier of a race there, and still keeping it very close now.
The bottom 2 that Spain got that race definitely salvaged a bit, and so definitely helps out if you are Italy here. And do want to point out the Shock, you've got to believe that was a Spain Shock, maybe to mitigate potential dodges that Italy was holding, but you know, the main thing being Spain kept all of their top spots afterwards. So do want to consider that the potential for just a random Shock there, if it was Spain's, definitely worked in their favor there. As now we are heading into Shy Guy Bazaar. Some recent strat development on this track in terms of the time trials. Not sure if any of these players are going to go for that. There is a new coin strat that you go for on lap 1, but very risky and I think loses time overall. in the online setting. So probably not going to see it here, but we do see Caesar starting from the back here. Shrooms just going to opt to try and push up, but a red shell coming in that's going to push him down a little bit. Looking at the pack, a lot of Spain have held their tops from the start of the race. Again, this is a track that really benefits those starting spots, and if executed correctly is very powerful if you can run correctly. And so, yeah, especially that player in first. I believe that's AKX. I could be wrong. I believe he uses Baby Peach, but holding up first right now, and just overall a decent pack split in general.
Yeah, the pack split especially is worth noting at this point. Also just seeing that Spain is still maintaining that top 2. They've held first basically the entirety of this war up to those points now. So it's just a nice thing for them here, at least that consistency up in those top spots. This time it is Italy in the last place spot. You do have one player from Spain contesting back there as well. So I have to wonder about potential shock. You see the Kamek coming out here as everyone is fighting now for this rail. Trying to see what are we going to be able to have now going into this lap 3. First place is gone. Second place is right there. Apollo, unfortunately, getting shoved off at all of those points at this point. So, matter just seeing what are we going to have in this lap 3 situation.
Just watch out for the pokies here. They are going to break, so that's strong for him. This is a decent pull for the ending here. And with this pack as close as it is, minus first, he could potentially gain a lot of spots on the line with this bullet bill. Caesar with shrooms of his own, but he's going to get redded on the line. That's going to prevent him from passing anyone. And actually, Italy are going to get a lot of spots off of those red shells. Really a nice pull for Italy there. That's going to give Italy a lot of mid spots. Yeah, 2, 4, 5, 6. Bottom 3 for Spain. That's exactly what Italy needed to gain that momentum back. And they are now up 2. So that was a +8 race for Italy here. And what a interesting back and forth we've seen so far.
It really has been, yeah. And Italy just seems to just keep finding ways to win without even needing first place, which is just awesome to see, really. The way they've been able to just dominate the mid-pack, steal spots at the end. You see all the aggression, you see the positioning that they have, especially going in right at the end of lap 3, those final turns, right before the line. You see them steal just multiple spots. Caesar and multiple Spain players just dying all and like frequently in these races, and those points really begin to matter there. Italy basically playing a point where it's like they don't need first. If they're able to force either a bottom 2 or a bottom 3 onto Spain, it will give them a positive. And Italy has won 3 of the 4 races to this point. Interesting stuff for them as well. And now going out into Mario Bros. Circuit.
So Mario Bros. Circuit, we will have to see what Italy opts for. I wouldn't be surprised if the player in second potentially opens the tires for his teammates as Italy holds a lot of the mid spots right now. We'll have to see what they opt for here. Rapolo, starting in fourth, going to go for the sign disc, has a free entry into it, but he's not going to get the air he needs running into the wall. So being forced to go around, and no box for him either. That's going to put him in the back, at least for this lap 1. Caesar having a decent start. He's in fifth, going wide for this double. And triple shrooms, exactly what he was looking for here. Going for these edge tricks of very, we see a lot of players go for 1, but going for 2 is a really nice flex for him, if I do say so myself. Going for the cut here, going to save his last shroom for this Rang coming in. Nice Rang hit. And that's Nico on the rail. Is he going to dodge? Yeah, he dodges the last Rang throw. So Nico holding first right now. Red coming in. Caesar has nothing, but I think it went off the track. No red shell coming in for Caesar anymore. And he's holding second comfortably right now, but 1-3-4 for Italy.
Yeah, 1-3-4 for Italy. Caesar really can't even play aggressive at this point. Despite having that red shell, they are going to be able to throw forward. Try and get something here. Maybe get the green type onto Nico if they really want to start contesting for that first place. You see that the shroom is there as well from Nico, who's able to stay there. But Caesar able to fight up in first. You see the Kamek coming through now. The trail coming up as well. Huge plays from Caesar to maintain this lead. And it looks like Spain is also starting to make their way up a little bit and trying to see if they can break into this Italy group right behind first.
Yeah, masterclass from Caesar entering lap 3 of Mario Bros. Circuit here, taking over
Ooh.
first, but triple red pull for Italy in third. But I don't know how much this is going to do. He can't get into second to throw these, so he'll have to go around no matter what. Maybe he can get a couple reds off on the line from Spanish players cutting, but I don't think they'll even be needed. A 2-3 being held, at the very least, for Italy. And I think a very mixed pack in general in the back. I did see Italy crossing in last. And yeah, very even race overall. Once again for these two teams, a 2-3, 6-7 for Italy here. But what an insane play from Caesar on lap 2. So didn't want to, interrupt you, but we did see Nico. I think he hit a banana behind the double on the last
Yes.
set of lap 2. So that is what caused him to lose his lead. And then Caesar making the sign Nisk. That Nisk is not as easy as it looks. And taking over first and trailing out Nico, who was playing it safe and going wide to respect the green shell trail, but ended up getting hit anyways. Just what a really nice play from Caesar that is to take first, but I believe that was a +4 for Spain, so still a +2 overall, but just the other way around here. Going into our next race, it is going to be Starview Peak. We did see Italy picking this earlier, so we'll have to see what they have planned for this race in terms of strategy.
And I know that Italy definitely is in a great position to be utilizing Starview Peak as well. So just considering the opening spots, the items that they're going to be able to pull in these first couple sets, really positions them nicely to get into a nice spot, especially when you think long term. Rapolo's going to have that ghost, and you see multiple drafts coming into play. It's just going to pop the ghost as well, get that guaranteed shroom, and also just find themselves in a nice spot to just get up ahead. We see Domenico up in first, Rapolo in second, so a nice top 2 at least at the moment here for Italy, but all those greens coming through as Spain tries to play aggressive.
Yeah, nice aggression from Spain there that's going to take out Rapolo and the back Nana to boot off the rail. That's going to be devastating for Rapolo here as Domenico still holding first, and I believe with Shroom still, but all of Spain behind him. Red Shell coming in onto Nico as well. This is a 2-6 for Spain right now. You know, Italy has to be thinking about the shock at this point, as they are very far behind the pack. A back Red Shell from Caesar to boot. That's going to even increase the lead that his team has in these mid spots. And you have to wonder how many of these Spanish players, the blue shell as well, everything is just going in the way of Spain right now. You have to wonder how many of them have shrooms in those 2 through 5 spots. Caesar going around, but yeah, a lot of players from Spain taking the cut. Domenico gonna have to drive off the track to mitigate the blue shell. Caesar himself getting hit down, and is this a bottom 3 now for Spain, actually? I must have missed a potential hit on lap 2 there, but you have to wonder what items did Italy carry up in the mid pack for this lap 3.
Yeah, it's really interesting because Italy was in a spot where it was 1-0, and now they're still in first place here, and they're holding on to it. And Italy just hasn't really had themselves in a position to really contest for this top spot. And this would be a huge reversal, honestly, just to see if Italy can maintain tops. Blue Shell coming out again, though. Instead, on this lap 3, have to watch for these shrooms. And you see that Spain has multiple shroom ups potentially coming in as well. Mega as well here from Caesar, trying to see if they can maybe get anything else coming now. It looks like Italy might be able to secure first place, as Caesar is going to get hit out again over a glider, and this is a crazy turnaround, honestly, from what we initially projected.
I think this is the breakout race that Italy needed right here. I see a lot of first and mid spots, 1, 3, 5, 6. This is the breakout race. This is the first race that has been won by over 10 points here, going in the favor of Italy, and now they are up. Still only up by 8, though. Like, you have to wonder, Italy played so well that race, just overall, but still only a +8 differential, showing just how close this match has been so far. Do want to point out that lap 1 in general looked so good for Spain. They were in 2 through
It
6.
did.
These are having really good pack play, but with the nature of this track, the Shrooms, Goldens, Bills, all of them are just so powerful in that water section. You just save so much time over just driving normally, as driving on water with these meta combos is so slow. And Italy capitalizing on that really well in that lap 2, going to lap 3. So overall, very nicely played. Going into our next race, Dandelion Depths, a very interesting track with a lot of, again, another track that has a lot of recent developments on the time trial side. Again, not sure how many of those tracks we're going to see online, but very interesting developments recently.
True, true. And yeah, going on into the second half of this war, Italy up 8. We haven't seen any team really break a double-digit lead at this point, but things could be changing and really just in one race, 6 races down here. Spain playing from behind now, and now just seeing who's going to be able to survive this pack. You see multiple items in play, a lot of these drops just happening up in this spiral, and with all these shrooms also now in play, people are just trying to break away in this pack. You notice that Italy does have front and back here, getting first and last place, just trying to see what they're going to be able to do with Caesar is going to be able to try and contest now for one of these top spots.
Caesar with the Shroom, so he will be able to maintain a top spot after the cut coming up at the end of the track. A lot of Shrooms being held in the top, actually. Bomb back from Rapolo. I believe that connected onto a Spanish member, so good bomb there. And early on in the race, we do see a lot of Italy who are holding those Shrooms. They are now in the tops. But also in the back right now, we do see a Bill coming up, so both teams contesting. Spain getting the chance at 2 boxes there, Bill being pulled, so no shock in play just yet. A Shroom, going to Shroom up, potentially go for an aggressive play.
Ooh.
That's a nice bomb back. I think that was a good trade overall. That was an Italian bomb, but Sanvi getting hit back, I believe, was a good trade overall, as top 2 still being held by Italy right now. And we'll have to see where Polo gets on this double to see if he can stay in. Yep, 4 Shrooms, so he's going to be able to stay in the race right now, but everyone around him also having Shrooms. So what that means is the pack is going to get closer because no one is going to be able to get hit as everyone has those Shrooms. Top 3 now for Italy going into lap 3. Does Spain have an answer to this, potentially with Shock or Blue?
Yeah,
We'll have to see.
Italy having a great opportunity right now to really break things open. Another blue shell coming in towards Italy. Not going to phase them really at all at this point with how much of breakaway they have. Shock is going to come through now as Caesar is going to dodge. Spain now making a move on up. Feather Ice isn't exactly the pull you want here, but at least might give something to happen potentially here. But a lot of Italy still up in these top spots. We're just going to be coming down to who's going to be having Shrooms after this set going into the final cut.
Yeah, there's this pull. Bomb back. Nice avoidance from Caesar. He has this Shroom to potentially break into second. I believe first is just on lock now for Italy. Bomb back in the cut. I think that hit someone. I'm not sure who it was, but that I believe is a top 2 still held by Italy. Again, they were just so gone in top 2, but I think a bottom 2 as well. So another mixed race. A 1-3 actually. So Sanvi able to Shroom into second. Really huge on his part. And a slight favor for Spain. Yeah, by 2 points. Another 2-point swing. Another really close race. Italy holding on there. And yeah, like I said, this track has the potential for heavy swings, but with the breakaway that Italy had in top 2, it was going to be a monumental task. Even with Shock and Blue, I do want to point out, I mentioned, is Shock and Blue going to do something? And both of those were in play on that lap 3, but like I said, not enough with that breakaway. Another contributing factor from the 1.7 update, allowing things like that to happen more often.
Very true, very true. Both these teams really just trying to find anything to break something open, whether it's just to get back into the lead or whether it's to just maintain this lead. We're going to cheap falls now. Potential here for maybe something crazy to happen. I know Italy is playing a dangerous game at the moment, being up only 6 at this point, but you had to give props where it's due, where they've just been able to play so well, whether it be having first place or being able to secure everything behind here as well. So Going up now into the fall. So just gonna see what we're gonna have in his first item sets. Rapolo, unfortunately, only getting single green, not gonna be able to get anything, and not as well as not hitting this. So we are gonna just see Rapolo now play this from the back, see what they're able to do.
Unfortunately, not getting that SMT that you need for that first Nisk and getting bumped because of it. So now he is in the back, like we said. Caesar with an interesting pull. Shrooms, he's going to be forced to burn them and go for an aggressive Rang. He is going to hit a couple of Italian members, Dugo in particular, and he is not going to get the double. That is going to put him really far behind. He's going to make the Nisk here. A bit wide, but he is planning to bag anyways, so it is what it is. Spain with a lot of tops right now. I see them in, I believe, 1, 3, 4 at the moment. And if Caesar can pull that shock, they are in a really good spot right now. And like you said, this track has the potential for big swing. We've seen it before. We've seen top 6s on cast on this track. So it is very doable here. Red being thrown, and Shrooms now going to keep Rapolo in the front here. Dugo in front of him. And did AK actually go out of bounds there? I believe he went too tight. If you go on the right side of that first pole, you are counted out of bounds, and I believe that's what happened there. So bottom 2 now for Spain, but Caesar with that Bill with triple reds after, but a lot of them are going to break, so I don't think he's going to get... Okay, he does get the last one out, slowing down to hit Rapolo here, but it really is going to come down to this last 2 sets here.
Yeah, it's really important in the last few sets as well. Currently, you do see Spain up in tops. They also have the back spot to see those bills in play. Italy trying to see if they're going to be able to salvage anything here besides from this 2-3. Matter of seeing who's going to be able to pass. You see quite a few people with Shrooms now, but it's a mixed pack overall. Multiple spots coming through. We're both able to dodge the red with the ghost, but losing a couple spots in the process. Now, we know that first last is going to go Spain, but where did everywhere else end up going? A 2-3-4 once again from Italy.
Another very close race overall, and +4 for Italy actually off of that 2-3-4. So really nice salvage from them at the line. Do want to point out as well, Rapolo, after shrooming through that cut on lap 3, he pulled out triple reds, and I believe he trailed Domenico, his teammate. So that could, again, we're seeing a lot of like really small mistakes or errors that are, you know, with how close of a war this is, are starting to add up from both sides. You know, a lot of them being unavoidable due to the auto trails, but still worth pointing out nonetheless. Both teams still really waiting for that breakout race they need to get a huge lead. And Whistle Stop being the selection for Spain right now. Moo Meadows coming in for Italy. I do want to point out this team has a lot of Moo Meadows enjoyers. This is one of their stronger tracks. So we'll have to see how they play here. I would imagine they're going to try and split this pack depending on these first item sets. But if Italy can get triple shrooms in their 2-3-4, they are off to a really good start.
Yeah, it's really just watching for these opening item sets once again. Now, having triple shrooms, like you mentioned, such a big and pivotal item to have at this point. Caesar is going to pull triple greens instead here, kind of just be a pack menace, and you've been seeing both these teams be really dangerous in the pack, even if Italy has won that battle slightly here. Currently, Spain up in top spots, but a lot can change here on Moo Meadows, especially in this lap 1, where we're still jostling for some positioning here. People going for these massive cuts here near the end of this lap. And still, the pack is fairly close overall, trying to see if we are going to be seeing a bigger split coming into this later, especially because now we do see Italy, at least in the bottom 2 for now.
Chaos ensuing in the mid-pack. Caesar getting green, but responding with backfire. I believe he hit one of Italy and one of his teammates, so a bit of a trade there, if you will. Caesar going to opt to bag, as Italy were in bottom 2 going into that set. Rapolo has an insane pull in second right now. Mega Ghost. He's going to pop the Mega now. This should make it all the way through this grass, or most of the way through this grass here. And now with a Ghost in first, we'll have to see what he opts to do here. Dugo with Shrooms behind him. He will want to stay behind him right now with this Ghost in play. Opting to go around, and Dugo going to Shroom up. sees Super coming up in a star, so this is a 1-3 for Italy. And what I would imagine Rapolo is going to do here is hold this Ghost until Dugo takes that cut, and then Ghost his last Shroom to propel them into top 2. Super giving Rapolo second here with that draft. Ghost pull, yep, exactly what I said. Shroom's being stolen, but this is basically, and a shock. This is huge for Italy. This is, oh, he actually clips the hay bale, but I think he's still fine. If he has this Shroom still for the ending, unless this Spanish player pulls a red shell, he is pretty much safe. Yeah, going to Shroom here. Ghost coming in, but it does not matter. Blue shell as well, but it, again, does not matter. Top 2 as well for Italy, and this, again, this now potentially is the breakout race Italy we're looking for, as I see a lot of Spain in those bottoms. Top three.
Exactly what you're looking for here from Italy. And you talked about it before. They've been wanting this Moo Meadows pick for a while. It's been that like trump card essentially here, and it waited until the last GP. It went from a +10 to now a +30 here. It's
Wow.
Italy is looking really strong going into the last 3. The team basically made up of a lot of members from Battle Alliances are holding really strong here and looking poised to steal this game away from Spain.
Yeah, like I said, Italy showing their prowess on Moo Meadows here. That is exactly what they were looking for to get into this war. And, you know, with this lead, it is, despite the lead, it is still doable for Spain, but with so few races left, this is why these close wars can go so south so quickly. When the big race comes at the very end of the, or towards the end of the war, it gives less time for Spain to respond. So they really need some, you know, desperate plays here to get them to keep themselves in it. Boo Cinema coming in for, I believe that was an Italy pick, and I would, you know, I would believe it, as this is another great track for those top spots starting. So Rapolo starting from first. We'll have to see what he can pull here. Again, if him or either of his teammates in 2-3 can pull Shrooms, this is a fantastic start. Rolling into the set now. Yep, there we go. Triple Shrooms. He's going to opt to get one onto this rail. Spain player as well behind him getting Shrooms, but he's just going to burn all of them to keep his first here, exactly what he was looking for. And now, if he can pull Protection, triple greens in first. Am I seeing that right? That is a huge pull for him. Caesar, I believe, I don't think he fell off, but he was forced to yield, and now a top 2 very confidently held by Italy going into lap 2.
Yeah, it was a great split there as well, because you also saw that Italy had quite a few players in the back there just to contest as well as scout out for potential power items that might swing this race in favor of Spain. Pack is still fairly close overall. Have to see who's going to be able to take this cut. Caesar is going to be able to dodge around, just play it safe here as well, and pull a golden in 8 for their efforts here. The front is well contested at this point, and Italy's last player is now trying to catch up here in this build, and so far, midway through this lap 2, it is a really close pack overall. Caesar is going to pull those triple Shrooms and also the triple reds here. Plays aggressive now just to take away the positioning away from Italy.
And I believe this is a top 4 right now. Going to slow down. I don't believe he gets anyone with that trail getting hit himself, but I believe a net win overall, as he's allowing a bit of a breakaway to happen for his team right now. Like I said, top 3. Single red, he is going to be lost to a trail here. Italy looking for these potential bottom boxes to get these catch-up items. Triple Shroom pull, and we'll have to see what's behind it. A golden, that's decent for Polo here, but shock coming in. I believe that's an Italy shock, getting all of the Spanish players after the set in the tops. Bill being used by an Italian member in, I believe, 5th or 6th place. That is going to push him into the front here. And it's really going to come down to this last straightaway being one of the most infamous endings to any track in the game. Fire being thrown forward. Going to hit one player on this turn. Rapolo goldening, somehow avoiding all the madness, but the coin shell on the line. He's going to lose a couple spots to that for sure. And first being held by Spain, but I honestly have no clue what these mid-pack looks like. 1, 3, 5, 6. Okay, so a really solid ending for Spain, even despite that shock. And That is a plus 10 for them. So minus 20 going into the last 2 races. They are keeping themselves alive right now.
Yeah, and these last 2 races alone, we've seen double-digit swings when we haven't seen that at all this sport. This last Grand Prix has been electric to this point, and 20 points, it feels like a lot in the grand scheme of things, considering what the first 8 races or so were like, but with the way both these teams are playing, have to wonder if a 20-point swing can be made up pretty easily. Now, Spain, to get back pushed against the wall, was able to get a solid race on Boost Cinema, which was the Italian pick here as well. See Airship Fortress now coming out as an option now from Spain, potentially as a way to just keep things going. Italy now on their side picking Whistle Stop as well, so real interesting things coming on now in the last 2 races of this war as we go on to Whistle Stop.
Whistle Stop being selected by... I actually didn't catch who picked that. I'm not sure if you caught it, Spicy.
I believe it was Italy. We lose Italy.
Okay, that would, and you know, that would make sense, as this is a track that benefits those mid spots, which I believe Italy was holding. So we do see Rapolo taking a bit of an early hit. Caesar making, keeping himself alive in the mid pack after the start here. Single red shell being pulled. He is going to go for the U-turn, making it across and protecting Sanvi with those triple shrooms in first. And I believe it's also Spain behind him, so a really solid start. Spain taking the advantage off of the lap 1 here. Caesar unfortunately failing the Nisk, so forced to go around, but this is a lot of Spain in the top right now, and I see Italy are like 8, 9, 10, maybe 9, 10, 11, something like that. So a really good start for Spain here.
Yeah, matter of seems
from Rapolo. I don't believe that hit.
Fortunately, yeah, Spain's still having a few of those tough spots here. The Goombas coming out and all of that because of the Kamek or Polo getting victim of that. But there's the shock coming out here as well. It's going to change a few things up as Italy is going to take over first now. Spain right behind, though. A matter of seeing if they can take these Nisks just to be able to get back up there. Caesar isn't going to be able to hit that, but the lead is still shrinking a bit now as you do see Spain now trying to just take anything they can to take away this first place that Italy now holds. Italy with the 1-3, maybe more. A few spots happening there, a few things getting hit out as we are now approaching the midway of lap 3.
Yeah, and that early shock from Italy, at least so far, seems to be working in their favor. Ooh. But I think... yeah, so Domenico failed in first, and also Caesar failed, so a lot of carnage in the back right now. And I think Spain just took all of the top spots back off of that U-turn alone. Rapolo, crucial Nisk make, that's huge for Italy here. Shrooming ahead to gain some spots, and I did see Italy in 4th, but is that a top 3 for Spain? This could be huge right now. Yeah, top 3.
Wow.
That is exactly what Spain needed. Great response. 4, 5, 6, 7, though, held by Italy, so not as bad as it could have been, but this is a nail-biter going into the last race here. We'll have to see the difference. It is a difference of...
6 points.
6 points.
Oh,
it is anyone's game at this point.
What craziness, really. When we got into this last GP, it was that race 9 where Italy was able to just pull away. They got to plus 30, and then Spain, the last 2 races, making up quite a deficit there, and suddenly we're back to where we started, basically going into the last 4. We are now in a single-digit race. Either team can pull this off, and we're going to take a bit here as well. So it looks like we are going to Rainbow Road for this final race.
Okay, so we've got a marathon to end our war here. Rainbow Road coming in, and you know, this track, like I mentioned last week in the play-in stage, has some very typical shock spots, as since the length of this track, plus the potential for a split pack. there are a lot of potential shock spots that can be utilized by either team, specifically entering Section 2 as well as entering Section 3. All very typical spots that are, something for teams to consider here and play around. Rapolo himself, though, itemless in this mid pack. He's probably going to opt for a bottom box entering the next set. With this mini-map being as large as it is, it's really hard to see the pack sometimes, but I do see a split pack, at least in the back right now, for both teams. Triple Shroom pull for Rapolo is decent, but this Coin Shell in pocket, not what he's looking for. He's probably going to chain this into the next set. A lot of Shrooms in the front right now. Switching over to Caesar, he does have Shrooms, one Shroom of his own in second place, but Multi holding first right now with multiple Shrooms. Caesar also pulling the second Shroom in pocket, so they are both going to maintain their tops after this cut. And now looking at the minimap, we do see a lot of Italy in the back.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was really watching at this point to see who was going to be contesting in the back. And now Italy with first, and also a lot of control in the back. Have to wonder when Shock is going to be in play. Blue Shell as well, potentially now an option here, just a holder in case of Spain going up in the first. Caesar does have the Super Horn in pocket here behind this banana. Never mind, it is now pulled out here as well. A lot of fighting now happening in these spots. Early Shock coming in now as well to see what else is going to be happening. Italy's still contesting those tops as well as having the Bullet Bill to just keep on moving forward as we go into this third section.
So an early shock, most likely from Italy, as they were having a lot of back spots and Spain breaking away in the front. Red Shell coming in that is going to hit Caesar after the set. Ghost Pull, gonna spam it instantly, maybe try and steal Shrooms in front of him. He's gonna steal triple reds, and actually this is big as a lot of Italy are near him. He's going to red Domenico at near the end of his golden. Bill unfortunately trailing the rest of his reds away, but he is actually going to opt to drop now because of that and try and pull a potential Bill for this ending. And it wasn't the most recent update, but a update from earlier this year, buffing Bullet Bills a huge amount, specifically on this track. They are just incredible now, specifically on this glider. We'll see if Caesar opts to use it here. Sanvi in front of him using it. We'll have to see. He's going to have to, as he's getting fire flowered, so he'll use it here. He unfortunately might get dropped in front of these reds. Is he going to get redded here? No, he has fire in pocket, so he'll avoid. I actually think he hit Domenico with that backfire. So that is going to be Domenico potentially off the track with those Shrooms. And entering Section 4, this is anyone's game still.
It really is. Caesar now in third with the Shroom as well as triple greens here. Opted for that left side now as well. See, just to see them break away from this pack, get away from all the action that is going to occur here. Every player at this point is just playing really careful. You don't want to give up too many spots, but you also want to make something happen here. Caesar pulling a great ghost now as well in third. Looks like it's a 2-3-5 now from Spain. Italy's potentially still up here in first. Shock in play now from Apollo all the way up here in last as well. Have to wonder when it's going to be coming into play, likely soon. It could be the dagger now for Italy. Yeah, pairs the Shock now. It's too hard to see Italy make their way up.
It got a lot of Spain after the set, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Spain are just so far gone in the tops right now. Bill coming in from Nico, a second Bill. Can't quite catch who that was, but I don't know if this is enough. I think Spain were too far gone in first. I think this is potentially the winning race for them to win the war.
1-3-4.
Yeah, 1-3-4. Yeah. I think that's enough. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's a tie.
It's a tie.
Wow.
There is no way. For week 2, we have now seen not one but two ties in the MKWC 2026. That is actually an insane ending. And you have to think those Bills at the very end for Italy made the difference. That kept them tied. That is what an insane war.
That was cinematic.
An insane race
really.
To cap it off.
Oh my
wow.
Gosh. Yeah, so many things happening at the end of Rainbow Road, whether it be the Bullet Bills coming through, the Shock potentially maybe a little bit too late there as well from Italy. A couple drafts at the very end. We don't know everything that even happened up top there. And Yeah, Italy with 3 to go, up 30. Spain clawed their way back to tie it up here, and that's just crazy because like both these teams obviously still in it. This is just a match playing for seeding in top 16, but wow, you could tell both these teams definitely just wanted to get an outright win here. It's so crazy that this ended up as a tie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to point out just how close. I mean, you all saw how close that was the entire war. The biggest race being Moo Meadows in favor of Italy, but and that was on race 9, I believe. And Spain clawing back slowly but surely with those last few races. You really have to wonder for Italy, did they did they let it slip away? Was it, potential errors on their part? Was it just Spain having an insane comeback? It's really hard to tell, but in general, throughout the entire war, Spain controlling the front. They had a lot of
Yes.
races where they got first and held first and just ran for a lot of the race, whether it was Cesar or um, I can't remember on one particular race. It was a different Spanish player, but holding first for majority of race. But Italy, like I said, just a dominant presence in the mid pack and has been their play style for many years and putting it on display again this war. And that's potentially what led them to the tie here overall. And so, really, really awesome war. Getting to see these two different play styles clash together, and really looking forward to see both these teams in the bracket. Do want to clarify really quickly this is these were two of the top 8 teams in the tournament. They will automatically be moving on to the bracket stage no matter what. What they are playing for this weekend is their seeding in that bracket. If they can get a
Mhm.
favorable seeding for a potentially easier round 1 and potentially round 2 for them as well. So, um, but what a awesome war. It was a pleasure to cast. Thank you so much to Spicy for joining me and Luckyo as well for hosting. We will be ending the stream for just a moment here as we set up for the next match, which is France versus Spain. So Spain coming off of a very intense match going up against the Titans of France in just a moment here. But we are going to end the stream, like I said, and we will be seeing a new caster as well joining in just a moment. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back with some more MKWC.